Hi, welcome back to Mom and Jess Talk Show. Yeah, so this is our second episode for the men's series, and by the grace of God, we have an amazing guest to do justice to this topic. He is a man of honor, and he's taking a topic we refer to as a man of honor. I'm sure you want to know a thing or two about being a man of honor. Men in the house, in light of Men's Month, this topic will do you so good. So please sit back, remember to drop questions, comments, commendations, whatsoever, and please remember to subscribe to keep you in line of subsequent episodes. Sir, you're welcome to Mom and Jess Talk Show. Thank you for having me, your lovely home.
Thank you for having us on the show.
We give God the glory. So are you ready, sir? Let's keep
Yes.
Okay, we are talking about a man of honor. So I would like to know, in your own words, what do you perceive is a man of honor about? Who is a man of honor?
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you for having me once again. A man of God, a man of honor, it's not difficult to describe. A man of honor is a man of respect. A man that understands what it takes to respect. You know, to honor people, to cherish. You know, is a man that holds moral principle in high standard. That's a man of honor.
Wow. Okay. So what are the likely attributes? Like, if you had to name 3 specific attributes that stand out for you when you look at somebody and you clearly want to indicate that this is a man of honor. What 3 features strikes you most?
One, a man that fears God. That's number 1 for me. The reason why that is number 1 for me is because a man that fears God will do everything right. You know, because he wants to satisfy God. He wants to honor God. You know, I usually say something to my wife and to people when I counsel people for marriage. I say, don't just marry people or marry someone who maybe is rich or marry someone who fears God. So he will not beat you because he fears God. He will not misbehave in the house because he fears God. You know, that will always keep him in check all because of his relationship with God. You know, he will honor you because definitely will obey the word of God. The Bible says, you know, you should honor your wife, love your wife. So he would want to, because he wants to satisfy God, he will try all his best. He will satisfy men. You know, the Bible says, God will have not sinned. So the man we are saying, if you can do what you think you want to do to God, you do it to the fellow human being. So that's key for me. Number 2, it's because he fears God, he holds, you know, he upholds standard, moral standard. When he says yes, it is yes. When he says no, it is no. I'm not saying that, you know, he's a perfect, nobody is perfect. But what I'm saying is that he's someone that, you know, keeps to his words. His word is his bond. So that's a man of honor. And that's very important.
Speaking of integrity,
yes.
That stands out for me, like when you want to talk about integrity. When you say yes, it's yes, when you say no, it's no. So yeah, it just reminds me of
a man of honor is, in fact, I was going to talk about that. A man of integrity. It's important that people take you for whom you are, for your word. Not that you say, you know, like I was sharing with someone, I said Christianity is not about the name. You know, I'm a Christian. You tell people I'm a Christian. It's not about just saying people, telling people. It's about the character. Why do they call them Christian? Sorry, I'm deviating, but it's related.
It is related.
Why do they call them Christian? Because they saw the character of Jesus in them. They said these are Christ-like. So a person of integrity is in your character. Can people hold you to your word? Can you say good morning and they say, yeah, indeed it's morning? Or they say good morning, they say go and check. Are you sure it's morning? So a man of honor is a man of integrity, is a man that he holds moral standard. You know, he uphold moral standard. He's a man that honors people, respects people.
Wow, it can go on and on.
No.
Wow, thank you, sir, for that insight. May we understand why it's important to be a man of honor, especially in the society in which we find ourselves.
It's very important, and ironically and unfortunately, that's why our society is like this. Because we lack men of honor. You know, you see people in position of authority that will say this with this mouth, say this with another mouth, say this with, you know, will say yes to I mean, red, this thing is red, tomorrow is white, next tomorrow is. So what do you expect? It's not, you cannot uphold moral standard. You cannot hold him to his word. And that's why our society is like this. You know, we lack people that have integrity. We lack people that have respect for, I mean, stay with what they've said. You know, people you can hold to their word. You know, accountable to their word and say, no, this is what I've said and I stay by it. So it's very important, because when we have a lot of people when we have men of honor all around, you know, we will have a sane society. You don't need to, when I say this business is like this, we are doing it, you know, you don't need to
think
check
twice
and, you know, exactly. You know, there's something I really appreciate, you know, recently in this land that is lacking where we're coming from. You know, to a certain extent, you can trust some of them, you know, and it gives you an why the society is a little like this. I mean, better than where we are coming from. You know, if you go to the filling station, you want to buy fuel, for instance, you don't need to look at the meter. You say, please give me 100 and
you're sure it's 100.
You're sure it's 100.
You know, sorry, let me come in there. I was actually having a discussion with a friend that, you know, she's a Nigerian. They moved to South Africa. They've been in South Africa for a while. And she was telling me, she mentioned this thing actually. She said in Nigeria, I never had that experience. That her husband actually went to buy fuel in the filling station and then just paid and left, only to find out that I think he bought for 1,000 or so, or maybe 5,000 rand, and found out that probably it was 1,000 rand fuel. He paid for 10,000 or 8,000, and it was like 1,000 rand fuel that was put in. I mean, you can't find that happening here. So.
You know, you can't find that. You know, recently, I think I went to the market with my wife when she just came, and we bought chicken and we were cutting it. So I said, let's go and buy other things. And she was like, what, buy other things? Why they are cutting it? I said, no, forget it here. One will not miss from it. You know, that it starts from there. We may think that is little, but these things has multiplying effects.
Yeah,
when you have people that are honorable, you know, in places, it affects other things.
That is true.
You know, but when you see people that lack honor, they want to cut you, they want to, you know,
play smart and all that.
Smart, do all manner of things. You cannot buy fuel. I cannot buy fuel in my place.
Because without reading the meter.
As you're selling it and watching the meter, even before you start, I will tell you why you stop. But you know, it starts from there. People cannot say, okay, this thing you have done is like this, and you know it's like that.
That's true.
So, and that's why the society is like this. So
something just came to my mind again. You know, when I got to South Africa in the beginning, when I go to the till to pay, I actually calculate with my calculator because I don't know how to have that Nigerian mentality and because at some point, you know, but the time I just relax and because each time I calculate, it's still the same thing that comes out.
In fact, my wife mentioned something recently. She was telling me, I think she took the taxi, you know, the bus which we use in Nigeria, and she said there's no conductor and everybody will give their money.
Everybody.
Driver doesn't have to
stress.
Who has not paid.
In fact, if you are sitting in the front, you'll be the one to collect it.
Everybody will pass their money, and you know that is it's not only when you are in a big position. It starts from there. And that's one of the reasons why we are having problems in Nigeria. Because nobody wants to be truthful, integrity is being thrown to the being, and that is how you can have a sane society. It is so important. It's not only what the politicians are doing. What about you? That's level. You are selling for, you are cheating people, you are not honorable. You are not a man of honor. Because you don't have integrity, you're not truthful, it's as simple as that.
Wow.
As simple as that.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing so much light. In light of all that you've said, I think it's also good to know one or two things about the implications of being dishonorable.
It's also obvious in our society. People will not trust you. Everything they can't hold you to your word. So you can't, when you're honorable, people will say, I know. When he says yes, something happened to me some years back. I was working in a microfinance bank, and I went to collect money from, this like a susu kind of, we do that. So they pay weekly. It's a group. We give them loan. They do business, so they pay back weekly. So I went to collect the money. I got there. I met few people, so they gathered the money, and I just gave the leader my book to sign. She signed. I closed the book and left. I didn't collect the money. So, I can't really explain. So when I was checking, I remember this money is missing, and so I went to them. They said, no, I picked the money. This, that. So, I reported in the office that this WAP, they now came. They came to the office to my MD that this boy is this, is that. My MD stood up, said, call this boy anything for integrity.
I hold it.
For integrity, forget it. This money, I can tell you for free, this money is with you. I was shocked.
Wow.
So that
this has been watching every,
She didn't collect the money from them, but she didn't deduct it from me. Because she said, Femi, don't worry, I know you made the mistake. You didn't collect that money. And I can tell you the money is for them. Don't worry, let's go. Wow. So if you are not honorable, you can't have that kind of advantage. Another experience I had, where I also work, I managed a company for 7 years, and when I left angrily, for some reasons I just left. When I left, my MD then, the husband, happened to be MD of one bank in Nigeria then. He bought another company, he established another company. And the wife told him, said, go and look for Femi to manage this company. This is a company I left angrily. I'm not trying to say I'm righteous, I'm just trying to give, example that these are the things, shortcomings you have. You are not a person of integrity. They went to look for me. And they called me to come and manage the place, which I told them my thanks and I returned.
Wow.
Because they knew that.
What a privilege.
So if you are not a manner, you have a lot to lose. People will not trust you. People will not be able to vouch for you.
Can't be held accountable.
They cannot give you opportunity. So this you will mess it up because it's yes, it's not yes. So.
And this goes out to not only men, I think ladies too. I've learned quite a
lot
number of things.
All of us.
May God help us to be very accountable and credible. Let's wrap up this episode, sir, with just one or two take homes, which will come in form of maybe measures one can take in terms of being a person of honor.
You see, it's a custom, my custom. Anytime I come on the show, to always bring in God factor. It will always be because I know that is the basis. If you are someone who honors God, you will honor every other creation of God. It's very important because you honor God, you want to maintain a good relationship with God, and that's going to guide you in a lot of your decisions, a lot of your actions and inactions. Like I usually use my wife as an example. You say, my husband doesn't do this, my husband doesn't do that. And I usually tell her that I don't do those things, not because I can't do them. I won't do them because of my relationship with God. So it matters because for you to be a man of honor, you must be a man connected to God. You must be a man that fears God. You must be a man that wants to please God.
Wow.
So it will guide your action, it will guide your utterances, it will guide your behavior. You won't want to cheat others because you know everything is sin. So it's very important.
Which will affect your relationship.
Yeah, and also, from the angle of God also, because you look at Solomon with all the riches, all the affluence, he said, I have seen all.
Everything.
And I have come to the conclusion that all is vanity. You see, when we want to take shortcuts, we want to cheat people, everything is, in fact, you want to look at it and say, this thing is, at the end of the day, what has this thing got?
What have you been?
And unfortunately, when we do some of these things, there are something that don't make sense. You cheat people, okay, 1,000, with 1,000 naira buy you land.
Will he give you happiness?
Will you? So at the end of the day, you have a lot to lose for it.
And it will steal your peace.
Exactly.
I was listening to a man that was even, I don't know what he was talking about, but what topic he was talking about, but he mentioned something that just caught my attention. He said he goes to bed peacefully, knowing that he has not cheated anybody, he has not stolen, and that thing just made me just sit back and reflect on the privilege you gain by just living reputably, living honorably, not cheating, not playing. Because when you start playing sense on people, you have to lie, you have to all sorts of things.
And you need more lie to cover
your
lie.
Very, complicating your life for you.
And when people now see that this one is not starting with this,
and then they pick it up.
People will not trust you. So a man of honor has a lot to gain, and a man that is dishonored or dishonorable has a lot to lose. It's as simple as that.
Wow, what an episode, viewers! This is something to watch again. I will personally just take my time to watch and reflect. Thank you, sir, for such an amazing inspiration and discussion with us. On this note, we end this episode. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.